So hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So I have some good news out of Washington, D.C. It says Washington, D.C. passes a huge raise for restaurant workers and other tip employees. Voters behind Initiative 82 outlawing a sub-minimum wage for tip workers. Instead, they'll receive a full minimum wage plus tips on top of it. Okay. So I got an article here. I'm going to get my thoughts and opinions as we go. So it says minimum wage will increase for DC's tip employees after Initiative 82 passed. Initiative 82 has been passed in DC, effectively ending the tip wage system that exists in some restaurants and bars. Initiative 83 eliminates the sub-minimum tip wage of $5.35 per hour and ensures all tip workers get DC's full minimum wage of at least $16.10 plus tips. Okay, before you get too excited, we're going to get into the dates, okay? Said the initiative will roll out slowly, with tip employees starting to earn $6 per hour by January 2023. Okay, that's coming up pretty soon. $8 by the next July, and then $2 raises each year until 2027. So it's not something that's like, okay, immediately, now $16 an hour. They're doing it every year. It's going to be $2 additional. Under current law, employers of employees classified as tip workers may take credit against tip wage received by workers to satisfy the minimum wage guaranteed to all workers by law. Initiative 82 will gradually end the credit. We'll get into what that means, such that the mandatory base wage paid by employers shall increase until the mandatory base wage matches the minimum wage established by the District of Columbia, okay, which is currently $15.20. All right, so I was looking at this and I was like, okay, what are tip credits? Okay, because I don't work in like a tip kind of service job. So I was like, okay, what are tip credits though? I don't really understand. All right. Claiming a tip credit is a legal way for employers to count employee tips towards their obligation to pay minimum wage. Employers do not take the tip credit away from the employees. It's simply a figure that is used in minimum wage calculations. Okay, so if I only want to pay you X amount and you got, let's say, that day $100 in tips, I would kind of add that in there and be like, okay, well, I did pay you the minimum wage. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't, and the people who, the patrons of the establishment really are paying that minimum wage for you, which I don't agree with at all. You know, that's something that I don't really like, and here are the results for it real quick. But yeah, that's something that I really don't like, is this whole tipping culture. Because if you look overseas, people actually pay their employees a livable wage. People actually pay their employees properly. But I believe that tips should be reserved for good service. Let's say I go to Longhorn, okay? And I go order something online or whatever, or I go just order something. Maybe I get a drink at the bar, maybe I only get water. And it's like, okay, well, that person needs a tip. And it's like, well, you just took my order. You know what I mean? And let's say I only get a water, which I've done. And it's like, okay, well, you only took my order and you gave me a water. That's not, and let's say I'm spending $60. That's not $20 worth of effort that you really put into that. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, okay, it should be reserved for when you are actually giving a really good service, not necessarily for, okay, well, I just need my bills paid, so you need to give me some money, you know? And it's like, okay, but you're not really doing anything that warrants a tip, because then when does this stop? You got baristas at Starbucks. You have people complaining like, oh, well, you're not tipping your barista. And it's like, well, y'all just doing your job. You know, it's not like you're going out of your way. Okay, so it's like, okay, well, should I tip the cashiers at a grocery store? Should I tip the baggers at a grocery store? I mean, when does all this tipping stop? And why are we not holding these corporations, these businesses accountable for any of this stuff? That's my question. Why are they not paying more? Why are they not paying you a livable wage and not just give you some on top?